Good afternoon. We're just going to give folks a moment to come in from the waiting room and connect to audio to make sure that everyone can hear us. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are appearing or testifying before the Entertainment Division. Good afternoon. This is an administrative hearing before the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing. Today is Thursday, October 5th, 2023. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. We are joined today by Director of Operations, Rebecca Fu. Executive Director Kathleen Joyce is unable to join due to a scheduling conflict, but she will review all application materials and the video of this afternoon's hearing, as well as all testimony that is submitted prior to issuing a written decision on any of the items before us today. I will read each item on today's agenda into the record in the order that they appear. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. We will then make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the Entertainment Division, and testimony beginning with elected officials or their representatives. For those wishing to testify, please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any. Should you wish to provide additional testimony beyond the 2 minutes, written testimony may also be submitted to mocal, M-O-C-A-L, @boston.gov. We'll begin with the first item on this afternoon's agenda. The applicant is A.M. Callejas, doing business as La Hacienda Restaurant, located at 150 Meridian Street in East Boston. The application before the Entertainment Division is to add the live entertainment categories of instrumental and vocal music for up to 3 performers for 7 days a week until 10:30 p.m. to the existing entertainment license. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Good afternoon. May it please the board. Attorney Albert Mosconi on behalf of the applicant. And I do believe Mr. Callejas, the manager, is present under iPhone.
Yes, I am present. I can't get my camera on. Sorry about that.
No worries. I just asked you to start video. You should see something pop up on your screen, and if not, no worries. Yep, we see you now. Great. Attorney Moscone and Mr. Callejas, if you would like to briefly present your proposal to the Entertainment Division.
Thank you. Mr. Callejas, he's seeking to add the additional live entertainment. He currently has live entertainment for Thursdays and Sundays nights. He, by way of brief background, him and his brother have owned the business. They acquired it from his father, who ran it since 2008. So it is a true family-owned business. They have approximately a capacity of 99. They currently employ 30 employees, from wait staff to servers and chefs. They offer an authentic Mexican cuisine experience. They have a 4.5-star rating on Google, which they are very, very pleased with. So they initially, about a year ago, they had tested whether or not Friday nights would be good for live entertainment, and they've received an incredible amount of reception to that. They have been applying for temporary Friday licenses and to meet the requests of their patrons and to offer an even more authentic experience to the traditional Mexican cuisine. They're seeking to add that live entertainment so that patrons can enjoy the live entertainment on Friday nights as well, with their meals. I'm happy to answer any other questions that the board has. I do believe I spoke with Mr. Callejas. He informs me that in the year or so since they've been doing the temporary Friday night entertainment, they haven't had any complaints or any instances or any issues that have arisen.
Thank you for that explanation. Director Fu, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, so the application, we actually had it for 7 days. So is it only going to be on Fridays, or is it for 7 days, or?
So he is, at this time, he's seeking the 7 days. But primarily, I think that he anticipates it to be most commonly utilized on Fridays, just based on popularity from patrons and things like that. I think the expectation is if he has a really busy, Tuesday night or a Monday night on a holiday, or if there is an occasion that would warrant the entertainment for the patrons, I think he would utilize it then. But so he is seeking for the full 7 days. Again, he currently has it for Thursdays and Sundays, but he's primarily looking to enhance the experience for all those days available.
And can you tell me about the community process for this application?
Sure. So we did, I wasn't able to get any letters of support from neighboring businesses, but he informs me that he hasn't had any complaints. He has, we've notified all the abutters. I didn't receive any requests or inquiries to those notifications. I did supply the not the actual return card, but the receipt. I still haven't got the return cards back yet in the mail. And we did publish through the Herald, I believe almost 3 weeks ago. So in advance of the 15-day requirement.
And this entertainment's only for inside, correct? Not outside?
That is correct, just for inside.
And has any sound mitigation, soundproofing been installed to help prevent emanation of sound?
So and Mr. Clayas can speak better to that, but I do know that he added an additional door. So the way the structure of the restaurant is, previously, meaning years ago, you could just walk into the restaurant off the street. There is a little alcove. He added a second door. So you would need to open a door, you come into a little alcove, then open another door to actually get into the restaurant. So there is that additional buffer, and Mr. Clayas can speak to any additional soundproofing that he's installed over the years.
Sorry, Mr. Clayhouse, I can see you trying to speak to us. I just asked you.
Yep. So yeah, we've added the second door in the live entertainment, which is mostly going to be a mariachi band, which ends at 10:30. That is primarily the most important. Mexican food goes well with the mariachi band. And as far as soundproofing, right now just the door. And honestly, it's the mariachi band doesn't play that loud.
Okay, and I know you have, is it like a house mariachi band? Are you gonna have promoters? Do you guys charge cover?
No, we don't charge cover. We don't have promoters. The most promotions that we do are on Instagram on our page.
Oh.
But no, it's not a party. People aren't dancing. It's everyone's sitting down. Once in a while, one of the patrons will go up and sing with the mariachi band, but nothing where there's too much movement from the patrons.
Okay, and then what is your dispersal plan at the end of the night?
For the mariachi, people
Just-
leave.
Yep, sorry.
Oh, and for the live entertainment, people leave little by little. It's not like a DJ stops and then everyone has to get kicked out. So we have the 2 a.m. license and we don't stop serving food till 12:30. So it's people leave once they finish their meal, little by little. It's not like all one big crowd once the mariachi gets.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, Director Fu?
Nope.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Manuela Villagomez with the Office of Neighborhood Services. ONS referred the applicant to the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association, and the group voted to support the extension of the license or the permit. At this time, our office would like to defer judgment to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see in the chat, Jody Remington would like to testify. Ms. Remington, you have 2 minutes that can begin now.
Thank you. So I've lived in East Boston for the last 25 years. My husband and my 2 children also live in East Boston. We are a direct abutter to the restaurant. Since 2019, when we moved directly across the street, there has been nothing but noise problems. This primarily is from Thursdays until Sunday nights, from the hours of 10:30 to some nights 2:30 in the morning. These have been documented through the licensing board, through the police department, through Officer Gallagher, who sort of works with licensing and the East Boston station. These range from crowds outside, crowds of 10 or more, to small groups of 3 to 5. So much so that we had our entire building, the windows replaced. I sleep with the TV on, and I also sleep with obviously the air conditioning and the heat on. And once I'm woken up, I can still hear the music coming from the restaurant. I do have 2 kids. At times at night, they're woken up and, they have to go to school the next day, and it's just a constant disruption. In addition to that, the crowds spill over across the street into the parking lot that's next door. They're loud in the parking lot. They play their music. They drop bottles of liquor. They pee outside. We've actually had people, we've actually had feces on our property that we've had to clean up. It's nothing but a nuisance pretty much from 10:30 on, especially Thursdays through Sundays. This week it was a Tuesday where I was woken up at like 11:45 by a couple people outside. I would say before 10 p.m., there's never a problem. It is a city, there is noise. I'm not complaining about the noise. It's the direct impact that the crowds and the music sort of have on our quality of life, unfortunately.
Thank you, Ms. Remington. Those are your 2 minutes. I don't know, Attorney Moscone, Mr. Plas, is there anything you'd like to say to respond to that, or if there are any further questions from Director Fu?
Am I on?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Well, it's from this entertainment license would be for 10:30, correct? And as far as noise, the crowd, we do get some people that once they leave later on, they try to stay in front, but we have the security man push them aside, to push them to keep going. And then as far as the parking lot, that is Walgreens parking lot, and I have no control over who parks there. They do have a towing sign up, and I mean, it's Walgreens. It's open 24 hours. And I mean, that's, it's Walgreens parking lot. And as far as noise, Officer Gallagher has stopped by multiple times, and we haven't passed, as far as like music getting out of the building or sounds, never, we haven't gotten in trouble. They've checked constantly. And I think the biggest problem was people leaving, and we are doing our best to move them along and not, to serve Miss Remington at night when she sleeps. And we do our best. We're not a nightclub. We don't have people dancing. It's a restaurant for the community and for the working class citizens of East Boston.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Can you please submit an official dispersal plan to us and a contact for any noise complaints? So if Ms. Remington or anyone else has an issue, we can direct them towards you, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Director Fu, any further questions? Thank you. The division will take this matter under advisement and will issue a written decision once the executive director has reviewed the video of today's hearing. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Calling the next item in this afternoon's agenda, the applicant is Cannonball Cafe LLC, doing business as Cannonball Cafe, located at 383 Dorchester Ave in South Boston. The application is to add the entertainment categories of table games, disc jockey, dancing by patrons, karaoke, instrumental vocal music, stage plays, floor show, and athletic events to the existing entertainment license for 7 days a week until 10 p.m. This request does include an outdoor area. Who's present on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Secretary Green, Director Fu. My name is Tom Miller from McDermott Quilty Miller in Boston on behalf of the licensee. I'm joined today by Rachel Lazar, the manager of record, and Michael Cahill, Senior VP of Development for Core Investments, one of Cannonball's partners in this project. As you said, this is an application for live entertainment for both Cannonball Cafe and it's a special function and event space immediately adjacent to it, known as the Lot, commonly known as the Lot. Between these two spaces, they have applied for the categories as you described them, including, you know, live vocals, instrumentals, movies, table and board games, dancing, DJ, floor shows, karaoke, and others. As a bit of background, the Lot activation space is a space that Cannonball and their partners Core use to program community and family-focused events with a give back portion to the community. The idea here is to bring together the community, strengthen the local neighborhood with events like food truck festivals, with, you know, events for kids there, movie nights, jazz concerts, CrossFit competitions, Oktoberfest celebrations with traditional food and music, as well as a seasonal holiday market and the like. The addition of the live entertainment here across those categories will enhance these events. This space has already hosted several events on one-day licenses without incidents. This includes the launch party with live music, with a band and whatnot, a movie night, and the Southeast Showdown CrossFit competition. The other part of this application is to add live entertainment to the cafe portion and patio portion of this space. The goal here is to add events that also build and strengthen the community on a more regular basis. Those include jazz brunches, board games, trivia, and open mics. Since its opening, the Cannonball Cafe has been a wonderful addition to the area that has added something that it has been lacking previously, which is a walkable place to get quality, healthy smoothies, sandwiches, food items, coffee, and other drinks. And now with the addition of the wine and malt beverages license, a place for the community to come spend time, relax, and hang out. Again, these live entertainment options to the cafe itself will really add to and enhance that goal of strengthening and bonding the community by creating a place to gather, something this area really doesn't have in that same way. They also have been offering music, both live acoustic music, and both inside and out for the last few months, on 1 days without incident. When Cannonball is hosting events at the Lot, cars are going to be excluded from that parking area with the event space, within the event space, and the open areas along the boundary of that premise will be secured with temporary barriers. Like, think of interlocking bicycle fencing and the like, to secure that perimeter that isn't already enclosed by the existing buildings or chain link fence. So the entire area will be enclosed. It will also be accessed by 2 entrances that are going to be monitored by security. The entire space is going to be monitored by security when those larger events are in operation, and not just, you know, people hired on the day, but a professional, experienced security company and staff, as has already been seen at the space and is planned on going forward. We are limiting the total occupancy here to 500 people at any given time. The events will be ending at 10 p.m. The idea is not to create, you know, a Boston calling space in this area, but to create, as I said, family-focused, community building, strengthening events that are good for all ages and allow people to really come together in an area lacking something like this, and strengthen and bond as a whole. As part of this application process, we have met with and received support from the Andrews Square Civic Association. I included their letter of support with our application. It's kind of that is kind of a good solid overview of what we're proposing, and we're happy to answer any additional questions either of you have today.
Thank you very much, Attorney Miller. That was a great synopsis of the application. Director Fu, any questions?
Yes, I actually did not see live entertainment zoning. Do you have that paperwork?
Yes, we have it for the larger event space, and we're working on updating the use of premise and certificate of inspection as part of an additional process we're going through that. So we should have those relatively soon.
Okay, and then to confirm, the capacity of Cannonball is 18 inside, 16 on the patio, and then approximately 500 for the lot.
Seating, yes. The capacity inside for the cafe is, I think, currently 34. And the seating on the patio is 16, but that is, yeah, currently.
Okay, and then what type of abutters does Cannonball?
It is almost entirely commercial, commercial and industrial. I'm not sure there's a residence within 300 feet at this point.
Well, since you don't have residents, then we might not really need to talk about sound mitigation, but was any soundproofing installed?
I actually don't know about the interior space, what the soundproofing is like. Obviously the outside space. There are a fair amount of buildings in the area that would block sound from emanating into the neighborhood. And the idea here, like I said, is we're not creating a rock venue, so it's not going to be turned all the way up. But I will let either Michael or Rachel talk about interior soundproofing.
Yeah, I can speak to it, and thank you, Tom, and thanks for hosting us today, folks. Yeah, so in the cafe itself is a new space, so it's got insulated glass windows, and it's a brick constructed building. So any entertainment on the inside really cannot hear outside. On the patio area, we did it is partially enclosed by the industrial buildings that sits within the premise. And we also recently installed a green wall, which absorbs a lot of the sound. It prevents the echoing effect that would be reflective onto Dorchester Avenue. The lot venue itself, and I don't know if you folks are familiar with this area of Dorchester Ave, but this is the stretch of Dorchester Avenue from Andrew Square going towards Broadway. It's all industrial right now. And so the lot itself is enclosed by industrial buildings that we own. And then across the street is a lot of vacant properties right now, industrial vacant properties. And so the recent events we've had, we've gone out onto Dorchester Avenue. We've gone 1 block over, 2 blocks over. We've gone out into the neighborhood to see if there's any sound that's transmitting outside the area, and we really could not hear much at all. And so far, really positive feedback from the neighbors.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office is deferred to the judgment of this board. As you heard from the applicant and the representation, they've had good contact with the Andrew Square Civic Association, and this area is primarily industrial. In the past, when they were applying for a liquor license, there was no concerns then, and we're unaware of any concerns at this time with the previous standalone events that they've had and facilitated. So with that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Council President Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support to this application. We haven't heard anything that is not positive from the community, and so the councilor would like to support. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Are there
Anna.
any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Thank you very much. Once again, the executive director. Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Danny. I would also like to add that I was told that Councilor Flaherty is also in support. If you can add that to the record as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We will certainly make note of that. With that, the executive director will review today's hearing and will issue a written decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And finally, calling the final item on this afternoon's agenda, the applicant is Depot Dining Inc., doing business as Hobson's Bar and Kitchen located at 353 Cambridge Street in Alston. The application before the Entertainment Division is to add the live entertainment categories of disc jockey, instrumental, and vocal music from Wednesday through Sunday until 1 a.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant? Oh, sorry, Doug, you're on mute right now. I just asked to unmute you.
Sorry about that. I'm here to talk about Hobson's, and I am Douglas Bacon, the owner.
Great, thanks. If you could please briefly present the proposed entertainment categories to the division.
Sure. This is going to be a restaurant that had previously operated in this location as Regina Pizzeria, and for many, many years before that as the Sports Depot. It's an iconic location in Alston, and I hope to be open very soon. We are asking for music, which this location will operate primarily as a restaurant first that offers live music. It will not be a concert hall. It's not going to operate as a nightclub. My plan is to offer the same forms of music that were previously permitted and approved and operated by Regina Pizzeria, which is TVs, recorded music, DJ, and instrumental music with 3 performers. My experience in this industry goes back 34 years. I've operated neighborhood bars, restaurants. One of my locations functioned with live music somewhat as a nightclub. My vision for this location is to be a restaurant that serves the neighborhood community. We're going to offer food and a full menu 7 days a week until 2 a.m. And my experience has also been that sometimes we make plans for these businesses and then the customers see things differently and have a need and a demand for variations on what our original plan is. There may be a time when I want to offer more forms of live music, possibly more than 3 performers, possibly dancing by patrons. I am not asking for that presently. This operation will be very much a restaurant, and we will see how that goes. If I have any desire to offer those forms of entertainment, I will be back to the community and back to this authority. And I have already met with the Alston Civic Association. I have a very good track record of collaboration and communication with the police, the community groups, and our elected officials. And I have the support of the the Alston Civic Association on this application.
Thank you very much. Director Fu, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, if you could tell us what type of abutters.
So we do have a small number of residential abutters in an apartment building that is on Cambridge Street. They are approximately 100 feet away from my building. There is development underway on other properties that are slightly closer to my building, but there's a large sort of buffer space. We have a 28-car parking lot outside the building, and this is a very old building. The building is 140 years old. It has very thick granite and brick walls, huge wood beams, and it's just a very old, massive structure. I have total confidence that the level of music that I am expecting and planning for will not be a nuisance or a disturbance to any residents that are anywhere near us. On the other side, we have train tracks and an office building and commercial properties. But again, I have total confidence that we're not going to become a nuisance or a disturbance to anyone nearby. And also, we're planning to operate until 2 a.m., 7 days a week. We only want to have the live music portion until 1 a.m. Obviously, we want to still have recorded music and televisions until closing time. But again, I want to reemphasize that this is not going to be a concert hall or a nightclub. In fairness, some of my businesses kind of look like a nightclub if you go in the late evening hours, and the bar area becomes very crowded, and some of our guests are there just to have drinks and socialize with their friends and not to order food. But primarily, this is going to be a restaurant operation, and the music will be at a moderate level.
Thank you. And what is the expected capacity of this premise?
The inside capacity is 302, the same as the previous operation. The outside capacity is 28. We are not asking for any form of music or entertainment outdoors. My expectation is that we will be opening when it's not suitable to have people sitting outside. And then by the time next spring rolls around, we'll have a better handle on how we want to use the outdoor space. And we will come back for approvals for any type of use of the outdoor space.
Okay, and has there been any physical changes for sound mitigation, anything like that?
Not specific to sound mitigation, and I don't expect that we're going to need any for the level of music that we have. And again, as I mentioned before, it's a very old building, very, very thick granite walls and huge wood structure that my expectation is that there's not going to be any difficulty with sound emanating outside of the premises.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. As you heard from the applicant, they have close contact with the Alston Civic Association. They've been very supportive about this business opening up in the former Regina's Pizza. As someone who served as the Alston Brighton liaison previously when Regina's was operational, I was unaware of any concerns or any complaints at the time by residents in the area of any sound coming from the business. There's a lot of sentiments in Alston that they'd like to see more live music opportunities in the neighborhood, both to entertain as well as an option for young artists in the area to perform. So I'm aware that a number of people in the community are very excited about this opportunity for Hobson to be opening up soon and having this license. As I said, there's unaware of any concerns at this time. We'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the executive director will review today's hearing and will issue a written decision. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
those are all the items before the entertainment division today. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.